Coming to you live from Waveney Park's Water Tower Field. Coming to you live from Waveney Park's Water Tower. Bit of audio difficulties here, but it seems like everybody can hear us, so we are just going to roll with it. Hello, everyone. I'm Ian Nicholas, joined by Ted Brennan live from Waveney Park's Water Tower Field. This is a presentation of the DAF Media Network, and this is New Canaan versus Darien. Well, not the real thing. It's FCFL football, FCFL Junior Division football, to be more specific. And it's the battle of New Canaan and Darien sophomores. And getting the first crack at it offensively will be New Canaan. So this FCFL football season has been interesting. Obviously, we've seen both New Canaan and Darien senior division teams get at it over the last few weeks, but this is the first and probably only meeting between their JV or sophomore teams, whatever you would like to call them, in this new extension of the Fairfield County Football League. So here we go. New Canaan will start offensively. They've got a lot of young, phenomenal skill players. Ty Groff in at quarterback, dumping it out of the backfield, cutting it upfield, shedding off a tackler, and making the catch for New Canaan, number 85, running back Dom Rosso.
And Ian, that was just a quick swing out pass, nothing too special about it, but the running back there for New Canaan was able to get that one out of there, gain a couple extra positive yards and first down here.
So Ty Groff, a varsity kicker and also one of the starting quarterbacks here for this team, give up to Rosso again, his first run, and he'll be lucky if he makes it back to the line of scrimmage for a minimal gain.
Looked like he was caught between a read option and a handoff. It looked like the ball either was slipped out of his hands or just got a little caught.
Yep, Groff is a solid athlete. He, as I mentioned, he's done some kicking and just some kicking in general, but kickers can be athletes too, and that's why he is a quarterback here on JV. Here's third down. Groff takes a shot over the middle of the field and in and out of the hands of Darien defender Jack Maher. So a near interception on third down, and it looks like on fourth and medium.
It's actually
it is going to be, it's going to be third down.
They gained the first down there on that first play.
I'm talking about Dom Rosso. Quick little check down. So, thank you, Ted. It is going to be third and medium from right near midfield. Let's see what Groff can do. Looking downfield. He's got a man, and it's going to be Blake Wilson on the move. Sheds off a tackler, and Wilson is gone. Touchdown, New Canaan.
Ian, that was just a simple play right there. Just a simple go pattern, if you call it that. And he just found the holes in that zone defense there for Darien, and it resulted in a touchdown. A good throw by Groff.
Yeah, I was talking to a good friend of mine and one of the fathers of one of the kids on this team, the New Canaan team, Terry Dinan, and one of his sons is a wide receiver. He called these guys the Fab Four, and Blake Wilson is just one of the guys who makes this unit special. Wilson, also a phenomenal basketball player, got some starts as a freshman for Danny Melzer's basketball team last year in high school. But in FCFL football, he looks just as good. So New Canaan goes up 6-0 with 10:40 left to go in this first quarter. And a high snap. Ty Groff, also the kicker, just dumps it off, and it's shut down. So
that's a value of having a kicker as a quarterback as well. If a muff snap there gets to him, he can try to roll out of the pocket and see what he can do with his arm.
The pass was caught by Jack Timlin, but obviously stopped well short of the goal line. So still just a 6-0 lead for New Canaan over Darien. It did not take them long, just a minute 20 for Ty Groff to unleash the cannon and find Blake Wilson for the 50-plus yard touchdown.
I mean, Ty Groff, he's got a huge arm, as we just saw there, able to find some holes in this zone defense for Darien. And as you mentioned, only a minute 20 into this game. And if this is signs of things to come for this new Canaan offense. It's looking pretty good so far.
Definitely. So the rest of the guys that Mr. Darien described to me in his Fab Four include Max Alert, Blake Wilson, his own son Cooper Darien, and Ryan Conley. Those are the guys out at wide receiver. New Canaan likes to run mostly 4 wide receiver sets, so make sure to watch out for them. Dom Rosso in that backfield. We saw him involved early with a couple of touches, and also we will probably see a bit of Hunter Telesco. But here's the main man, Ty Groff, doing the kicking duties as well on this kickoff.
Got an arm and a leg here.
Takes a New Canaan bounce, and it's a really excellent kickoff, but unfortunately it's going to roll just out of bounds due to the wind here on this very cold November day, and that's going to be a penalty on Groff and New Canaan, so that will move the Darien offense up with a bit better starting field position. They were starting at the 40-yard line.
And look, that was just a great play there by Leighton Reeser. He saw the ball was rolling towards. It looked like it had a little bit of backspin coming off his foot, but it kept on rolling out of bounds, and it was a smart move not to touch it.
Yes, definitely, and he knew it's been a hectic, windy game day all day long, and he took that bet that it was going to roll out of bounds, and it paid off. So here are the Darien, I was going to say the Darien Blue Wave. Here is the Darien FCFL sophomore team. They will start from the 35, not the 40 after the penalty. Man in motion, and the quick little jet sweep to the far side. He's got some room, and he stopped after a gain of 3.
That's Isaac McMullen there. Plays normally the slot for this Darien junior team, and you'll see him in a lot of those jet motion sweeps. He's a smaller guy out there, but he's speedy, he's quick, and he can just get to the outside very fast. Unable to turn too much of a corner there. Got about 3 or 4, but if he can turn that corner, he's gone.
And the quarterback for Darien, Simeon Dahl, he's going to hand it off here right back to number 40, McMullen. And he stopped right near the line of scrimmage, and that is going to bring up an early 3rd down after back-to-back touches for him.
And if you saw that there, he was trying to bounce it to the outside, didn't see anything that he liked, and McMullen just kept bouncing into that outside. And unfortunately for McMullen, that new Canaan defense was able to get around and get a stop here to force 3rd down.
So, yep, 3rd and very short. McMullen in motion once again. Dahl, the lefty, the screen, and it's dropped in and out of the hands of number 45.
Will Johnson.
Will Johnson, yep. So that is a crushing blow, but it looks like it's definitely 4th down territory for Darien. Nope, they are going to take I jinxed them.
Spoke too soon.
They're going to take him right off the field. So an unfortunate 3 and out to start offensively for Darien. New Canaan still with this 6-0 lead. Darien having the ball for less than a minute offensively after the penalty on the kickoff from Ty Groff.
And if you're Darien, you're really upset after that drive because you had great starting field position after that penalty. You were originally going to be backed up as
so
shank him.
Here's a little bit of a crazy punt. It will take a Darien bounce inside New Canaan's 40, stop around the 38-yard line off the leg of Douglas Somerville, the punter for Darien. So let's see if Ty Groff and crew can make it 2 for 2. New Canaan will probably use 2 quarterbacks today, both Ty Groff and Gio Cassione. And we will tell you who the quarterback is for this drive in just a moment.
I bet this New Canaan drive under a minute here. Give him 60 seconds to score.
The over-under shorter than ever before, if there even is an over-under for time of possession of a drive. So Groff will be back in at quarterback for New Canaan's 2nd drive offensively. Right back in a shotgun. Give to Hunter Telesco. Breaks some arm tackles and a solid piece of running. Lunging forward is Telesco, number 53, and he will be just short of a New Canaan 1st down.
And that's just good hard running there from Telesco. Big body, just found some holes and just was, I mean, he looked dead to rights in that backfield, but able to use his big body to break some tackles and get a 1st down for the Rams.
He's drawn some rave reviews. This one, another give right to Telesco. Stiff arm, and finally spun down inside the Darien 40 to the 35-yard line. Back-to-back monster runs for him.
He got up and under that face mask of the Darien defender. I believe that was Leighton Reeser on the tackle, and he got up and under that face mask and just kept going, kept chugging the legs for an extra 1-2 yards. And even though he only gained 1 or 2 extra yards after that, it still looked nice from here.
Groff again, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Hunter Telesco right up the middle. Keeps the legs driving. Back-to-back first downs on the ground for New Canaan on the legs of number 53, Hunter Telesco. And Darien needs a timeout with 8:19 left to go in this first quarter. They've got to slow down New Canaan offensively.
3 straight runs, 3 straight first downs, and as you mentioned, Ian, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Telesco, as I mentioned previously, 3 straight first downs, couple 15-yard runs. And Darien just needs to figure out how to stop him. He's finding the holes, he's finding the creases, and of course he's breaking tackles for the extra 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 yards. But they need to stop him at that line of scrimmage because that's where he's doing his most damage, finding those holes and being able to exploit a crease.
Definitely, Ted, and when these guys do play high school football once again, when it's official, this 1-2 punch of Rosso and Telesco is going to be names that you will be hearing in New Canaan most likely for a long time, as this year the Rams in the private league have loved to run the ball with Christian Carson and Hayden Shin, and this 1-2 punch could be that next Thunder and Lightning duo. Telesco still in the backfield, Groff still in at quarterback, 4th straight carry for Telesco, and the ball is loose. And it's recovered, it seems, by Darien. And it is.
That's exactly what Darien needed, a momentum swing. They were backed up in their own zone, and they needed that big momentum swing, that big hitter.
Yep.
And, of course, we just saw the fumble there, so Darien takes over.
Well, that is definitely how you cool down a running back. Fumbling there, Hunter Telesco, he was really starting to get hot. But a big hit from Darien, just the turnover they needed to create. Still a 6-0 game, exactly 8 minutes left to go in this first quarter. And for the first 4 minutes, it has been action-packed.
Definitely. We saw the early TD with just 1:20 off the clock and then a big hitter fumble here. It's been nothing short of action-packed. And, Ian, I'm sure the cold definitely got to Telesco. It is freezing out here.
It's getting to you and I.
It's definitely, and we're not even moving.
No. So they will start their drive, Darien, that is, at around the 19, their own 19-yard line. And the hard count is going to work, but who is it going to work on? Is it a false start? No. It looks like it's going to be on New Canaan for some kind of encroachment.
Yeah, and for Darien, that's just, a good extra couple of yards. Backed up they're at their own 19. They needed an extra few yards, and they got it there with Simeon Dahl on the hard count.
They'll try the hard count again. It doesn't work. So 1st and 5 from the 24. Man in motion. Dahl, quick out, is incomplete. Intended for Liam McBride, instead broken up by Griffin Getner.
Liam McBride and Simeon Dahl had some varsity basketball experience this year. They've been playing together for a very long time, so I'm sure we'll see Dahl throw it to McBride a couple more times here, not only in this first quarter, but throughout the rest of the game. They have a good chemistry together.
A connection that spans the gridiron and the hardwood. Here's Dahl on 2nd and 5. A run is absolutely blown up. Giving it to Jake Wilson, and a horde of New Canaan defenders meet him on the inside zone play. That's going to back them up about 5 yards and set up a 3rd and 10.
2 opposite running games we've seen here so far. Darien not able to get much, as we saw there, but on the other side, New Canaan able to break off 3 straight 15-yard runs. So Darien will have to rely on the passing offense. Darien's
going to have to pass it here, air it out to try to avoid its 2nd straight 3-and-out offensively. Dahl still in the shotgun. Wilson to his left. He's going to look. He's got a man open, and a huge catch and run for Darien. Inside the 40 and finally dragged down inside the 35-yard line, and it is Leighton Reeser, finally dragged down by New Canaan's Jack Boutine, and that is exactly the spark that Darien needed.
After a bad run there from Darien, they needed a spark, as you mentioned, and that pass there from Dahl to Reeser was probably 30, 40 yards in total.
All the way down to roughly the 30-yard line, so a massive connection from their own 20 to inside New Canaan's 35. We're going to shift Jake Wilson to the left. He's going to roll out right. Plenty of time. And downfield, a connection is made, and a little bit after the catch, too. On the far side of the field, it is corralled by, still trying to get the number, I believe by number 81, Liam McBride on the outside. Off the terrific pass downfield from Dahl.
And look, that's a tough throw for a left-handed QB to make, rolling to his
right,
throwing with his left. And we saw Dahl just, keeping it composed, and he was able to find, I believe it was actually Trevor Herget on that outside, 89.
Probably, yep. My bad.
Don't worry about it. We can't see
it's
out
tough.
there.
Our perspective is right at field level. And Darien's perspective is right on the goal line. Man in motion. Darien looking to tie this game up or take the lead. Dahl to the end zone. It's caught, and it's a touchdown, Darien.
Beautiful throw and catch there. Back in the end zone.
That's going to be Will Johnson, number 45, with the beautiful leaping catch. Dahl just found a sweet spot right over the middle of the field, put it right where it needed to be up top. And just like that, it is a 6-6 ball game with 5:23 left to go in this first quarter, and a Darien PAT from the leg of Trevor Herget could give Darien the 7-6 lead.
It was just a simple cut across the middle of the field and floated it back over the end zone to Johnson. And credit to Johnson for getting up in the air and bringing it down inbounds. That's a tough catch for any receiver to make, much less a sophomore.
So let's see. Herget, kick is blocked. And it is going to be ruled dead. I believe that was New Canaan's Andrew Rittenberry, number 82. A lot of hands in that pile. But it's still a tied game at 6-6 after some issues from both teams on the PATs.
Definitely. We've seen two great scoring drives from each team. We saw the big pass from New Canaan early on, Groff with his first touchdown, and Dahl with a touchdown here. And Darien relied heavily on that passing offense after the run could not get started. We saw the big pass down the sideline from Dahl and then to Resor, and then another pass over the middle, and then a final pass over the middle in to the end zone.
So here we are, tied up at 6 points apiece. The passing games have been on fire, even though the weather has been nothing but bone chilling at 40 degrees, and it feels much colder.
Definitely, the wind chill definitely takes it down. We are right in the middle of the wind chill.
Yep. But who cares about us announcers? We care about the athletes on the field, and this looks like a classic matchup between New Canaan and Darien. It doesn't really matter what other sport you put them at in, Ted, whatever form of competition, you are bound to get a great game when you got New Canaan up against Darien.
And we've already seen it. It is 6-6 in only the first quarter. So we will see how each team comes out in their second and third possessions.
Definitely. So here is the kickoff from Herget. After having his PAT blocked, it's a big kick. Fielded by New Canaan's Ryan Conley. And still fighting. Excuse me, that was not Ryan Conley. We'll try to get the number on him in a moment. But a decent return out to 31-yard line. And that is where New Canaan will pick up its third drive. Last drive ended in a Hunter Telesco fumble earlier in this quarter. And no surprise, Ty Groff still in at quarterback after that awesome first drive from him.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yes.
Don't ruin a QB's rhythm. That's one of the things that you do not want to do.
Groff with an absolutely wide open Blake Wilson, and he makes the back shoulder grab. Slightly underthrown, but Wilson, he will grab anything. And an excellent catch there.
That's exactly what we were saying. You don't want to ruin a QB's rhythm. And we saw there, Groff able to get it to Wilson for a nice first down completion.
All the way across midfield to Darien's 47 after the big catch. Groff back in the shotgun. Give up the gut to Rosso, and he will bury ahead for a pickup of about 3 to the Darien 44-yard line.
That's something that's just great to have for any coach of any level. A nice 1-2 punch with running backs, a more power guy with Telesco, and then I would say Rosso is more of a speed back.
Yep.
Definitely smaller in stature. So it's definitely to have that nice 1-2 punch.
So 2nd and 7 after the quick run up the middle. Groff over the middle. and he will connect once again. Blake Wilson makes the grab, his third catch already, and forward progress will move him up to right near the first down marker, pretty close to it at the 40-yard line. It's going to set up a 3rd and 3.
Go with what's working. Wilson and Groff have been working all night. They've been clicking. They've been creating a spark out here in the cold, and why stray away from it?
There is no reason. So it's going to be a keeper for Ty Groff and absolutely nothing on the read option. Lucky if you get to yard, if anything. So that's going to be 4th down and 3, and obviously this is 4-down territory, so we will see New Canaan's offense stay on the field, I believe. Even though we are going to see some personnel switching. But it looks like Ty Groff might be lining up the punt. He can do it all from a kicking perspective. So
multi-talented athlete. That's something you want in a QB. Can do it all.
Yeah.
It's kicking, punting, throwing the ball.
Reminds me of Chris Connect for the varsity team. Chris last year, he even punted a little bit before going down with an injury, but obviously Connect, a phenomenal defensive back and return man for New Canaan. Let's see what this is going to be. It looks like it's going to be a punt for Groff. And it will be. So the boot to the far side of the field, and it bounces out of bounds. A decent punt. New Canaan not taking any risk and not giving Darien anything to work with. So still a 6-6 game with 2 minutes left exactly in this first quarter. New Canaan, Darien, FCFL Junior Division football.
And look, we've seen a great game so far. We've seen 2 great touchdown passes, and that's why the score is sitting at 6-6 right now, as you mentioned, Ian.
Mm-hmm.
And the sun is starting to set, and you can see those lights coming on, which means it's just going to get colder for these players on the field, and we will see how they react to the drop in temperatures.
Well, that's what makes the water tower turf here at Waveney Park such an attractive option for these private league FCFL games because, well, they do have lights, and that is a luxury that not all stadiums can afford here and around Fairfield County, and Waveney Park has it covered. So here we are, drive number 3 for Simeon Dahl and Darien. He threw a touchdown on the last one. And it looks like a false start will start this one. Their last drive started with a New Canaan encroachment. This one, the opposite direction.
Somebody's not where they're supposed to be. We saw that blue streak of a blue streak of a Darien player just streak off that line.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see how Darien responds to what could be a costly penalty.
Yep, so clock continues to roll. 1st and 15 now, backed up at the 20. Dahl sets up the quick screen. It's caught over the middle. It's Johnson, a lot of room, and he's out of bounds after a solid pickup of 7 or 8.
Yeah, another small little screen. I mean, we saw it in the beginning of the game with New Canaan using that screen, and now we see Darien using a small screen pass. Screen passes are extremely useful for just getting a couple yards back, but they have that capability of getting a few more as you have that entourage of linemen down the field.
Yeah. So that will be 2nd and about 9 after the penalty and a screen. Dahl, plenty of time, wide open down the field, and it's caught from Darien, and finally brought down is Leighton Reeser. Back-to-back huge throws in these last 2 possessions, and Dahl is getting warmed up.
As it gets colder, Dahl
gets hotter,
warming up. But again, just going with what's working. If you're throwing it to Reesor and he's making the big grabs and the big run after catches, keep going to him. Why not? As
and
we just saw there.
Yeah, he has trust in all these Darien guys. All his playmakers are coming to play this evening. Dahl stepping up to the left, might run with it. He's going to keep it alive downfield, and the pass is incomplete, underthrown on the move, looking in Johnson's direction.
It was a good idea to get it to Johnson.
Yeah.
He's still a young quarterback. Again, as we mentioned, sophomore. These are all sophomores on the field. And he's still a young quarterback, and that might be a decision where he tries to take it and run and just get a few as he progresses on. And one of the great things about having all sophomores on this team is that these kids have literally grown up together.
Yes.
and they've been playing together. They go to classes together every day, so they create deeper connections than, say, kids who are in 10th grade and connections between juniors and seniors.
They've been doing this since 3rd grade.
Exactly.
So here it is, 2nd down. Dahl give up the middle. Room after the second contact, and a big lane and a big truck as well from Jake Wilson. It's going to get Darien all the way near the 10-yard line on the 1st down gash.
Finally get some productive run game from Wilson there, and Wilson, it looked like he stiff-armed a defender to the ground after that initial contact, and getting a ton of yards after the initial contact.
Definitely, he is a bruiser in the open field. He showed it there. So Dahl looking to the sideline for the play. They're going to line up here from the left hash, put a guy in motion. Dahl's going to look left, 1v1 to the end zone, and it is caught. Touchdown, Darien. It is number 89, Trevor Herget, with his first score of the game and Dahl's second passing score in as many drives. Darien will take the 12-6 lead with just 7 seconds left to go in this first quarter.
And look, that was a beautiful play call there. Just a simple fade to the back of the end zone and letting Herget come across and get that ball. However, if you're the New Canaan defender, if you were looking at Dahl's eyes, I was looking at Dahl from over here, he was looking Herget the entire way. Now, again, young quarterback, you might flick it, you might look over, but again, he was looking at him the entire time, but he was able to get it to Herget for the score.
Yeah, you could tell that definitely looked like a goal line fade. After that failed PAT, Darien's going for 2. They set up the screen, and it's incomplete, overthrown. So, still a 6-point game for Darien. They keep the 12-6 lead. It's their first lead of this very young game in this rivalry, and now Ty Groff and crew are going to have to respond just like they did in that opening drive.
And look, New Canaan, they didn't look bad on their last drive, just not as sharp as their first 2 drives, minus the fumble on the second drive. And if you're New Canaan, you're looking to replicate what you did, not 100%, but you're just looking to look sharp out there and try to respond.
And get some more guys involved too. You have that Blake Wilson guy who's been fantastic so far today. 3 catches, including the touchdown, 2 down the field. But get Max Alert, get Ryan Conley, get Cooper Dinan involved. Your run game's already working for you. Just Ty Groff or Gio Cassione, if we see him make his first appearance of the afternoon, whoever is in at quarterback, look all over the place. Don't necessarily stick on to just Wilson.
What's the point of having a Fab 4 when you're only using 1?
Very well said, Ted, and hopefully that is what New Canaan looks to when they get back. So that will be, the quarter has been set for the start of the second. The clock is a little bit funky here on the water tower, so it looks like it's 7 seconds, but in reality that 7 is really a 1. So they just expired, I guess, that 1 second, and we will start with the fresh 12-minute second quarter here. Darien still up 12-6. Simeon Dahl's thrown a pair of touchdowns. Ty Groff's thrown one as well for New Canaan in this all-sophomore game, FCFL action between these rivals. Here's Herget on the boot. Fielded in stride. Cutting it to the outside, now back inside, and stopped right at the 35-yard line is not positive who that is, number 92. It is Ryan Conley, one of the starting receivers on this unit. So let's see what they got in store here. You're going to start.
Oh, sorry about that.
No, go ahead.
One of the great things about this game is that you get to see a lot of future talent for both high school teams. Dahl has to play behind QB Miles Drake, but, his senior year, he'll be ready to go.
Totally. That is the beauty of JV and sophomore. Here's Groff right back in it, overthrown over the middle of the field, looking for Blake Wilson, looking for number 93, Ryan Conley, his first target of the game, and it goes incomplete.
Yeah, I mean, we just talked about it, getting more people involved, and I think Groff heard you.
I hope he did.
Might be listening in to us here. But he got more. He was trying to get more people involved. Unfortunately, just kind of overthrew outstretched hands.
Yep. The guy calling the plays offensively most likely is Coach Harry Catanzaro. Here's the read option keeper. Ty Groff will pick up a solid gain of 6 or 7 across the 40 to the 42-yard line, and that will set up about a 3rd and 3. A New Canaan player is down, though. It is number 94, Beck Bateman, slow to get up. And they will take a timeout here and check in on him.
As will we. We'll take a short break, and hopefully we'll be back on after this injury.
Yeah. Ian Nicholas, Ted Brennan back here from New Canaan's Waveney Park's Water Tower Field. The score is 12-6 in Darien's favor with 11:22 left in this second quarter. We just saw sophomore Beck Bateman helped off the field with probably a lower body injury. We wish him nothing but the best off the Ty Groff run, and it looked like he was a lead blocker on that one. So we hope he'll be okay. Ty Groff and crew are going to continue here on 3rd and 3. Groff unveils the cannon again. Wilson there again, and he's off to the races. Touchdown, New Canaan. The second one today for number 83, Blake Wilson.
Looked like a post route over the middle, and he got cut. And if we had I believe we have a replay, so I don't know if they'll show it, but if they do show that replay, you could see the cut from Wilson on that post route, faked out the Darien defender, and they both went to the other receiver for New Canaan, who had another crossing route, and it was able to gain Wilson just half a step, and that's all he needed. That's
an excellent play design when you have 2 routes down the field and not as much back-end support as you necessarily want. Safety has to pick one route, but I feel like you should always pick the one Blake Wilson's running because he is unstoppable. Excellent ball from Ty Groff, his second touchdown pass of the day. And New Canaan is also going to go for 2, just like Darien did at the end of the first quarter, and were unsuccessful. If they get it here, it would be a 2-point lead. Groff over the middle, takes the hit. It's incomplete. No flags in the direction of Ryan Conley, but they can't get it to go. So still a 12-12 game here with 10:53 left in this second quarter in a very high-scoring affair.
Yeah, Groff took a big hit there at the end there, but he seems to be all right walking off the field. And I just want to mention earlier, before we had to take a quick break, the read option that was run by the Rams, where Groff pulled that in. That was a beautiful play design, as everybody on that Darien defense was expecting the handoff, because why go with Groff when his original his first read option only gained a few yards, and the running backs have gained 15, 20 yards, and Groff pulled it down and got 6 or 7 yards. But it was a beautiful play design that set up that big touchdown that we just saw.
Yeah, New Canaan's had a lot of athletes playing the quarterback position over the last few years, from Drew Pine, who obviously is a great dual-threat quarterback. Michael Collins, currently the starter at Rice University, threw 4 touchdown passes, I believe, 2 days ago. Reed Brown in the private league has shown he's had 3 rushing touchdowns in 3 games. So New Canaan really does like to run that read option play. With Harry Catanzaro calling the plays here, they are continuing to go to what is working. Ty Groff will kick it off. It will be fielded by Johnson, I believe. He will cut it upfield, and he will be stopped right near the 20, 25-yard line, give or take. So Darien and the red-hot Simeon Dahl Both quarterbacks in this game have thrown 2 touchdown passes apiece, and Dahl is looking to keep it up here. Last one went to, I believe, Mr. Trevor Herget on that fade ball to the end zone. Excellent catch in 1v1 coverage. We already mentioned it before, Ted. Darien has done a phenomenal job of getting everyone involved early.
Oh, 100%. They've used pretty much everyone on that field right now, whether it's using McMullen in a jet sweep or throwing it down the field to Resor or McBride or Herget.
Man in motion. The low snap is going to be picked up by the running back. Maybe gets it right back to the line of scrimmage. It's going to be a loss of a yard on a near disaster for Darien.
Well, lucky for Darien that the running back was right there to pick it up. It could have been, as you mentioned, disastrous. New Canaan player could have scooped and scored, as they are very close to that Darien end zone.
Yep, right near the 25-yard line. It was the running back, Connor Robertson, who picked it up off the very low snap. Johnson in motion for Darien. Dahl back to the pass game, and incomplete on the 1v1 ball intended for Liam McBride.
And we've seen that twice today. McBride has found a little seam to get open, and it just gone through his hands twice. I don't know whether it's the cold or he's just not seeing that ball all the way through. But if you're McBride, who probably could be Dahl's favorite target due to their chemistry, you got to start bringing in those balls.
No, definitely. You know, the old rule, if you have 2 hands on it, you should catch it. But, you know, it is a little cold today. The ball a little bit rawer than normal. But, yeah, he had his hands on it. He should have made that one. So this one, a 3rd and long after the botched snap and the incompletion. And a tough situation here for Simeon Dahl. Hard count is going to work. And it looks like it's going to be a penalty on New Canaan's number 90, Jack Timlin.
No, it's on Darien.
Oh.
If you just saw, he did the false start motion pointed in the Darien direction. So the hard count does not work.
Good call, Ted. That's why we have you. I believe that might have been on Darien's Duncan Easterbrook, as he will head to the sidelines. And now is 3rd and 15. We know Dahl has the big-time arm, but this is definitely not the position you want to be in, backed up at your own 19-yard line. 9:25 left in this second quarter with the tie score of 12. Dahl moving right, pressure comes, still on the move, looking for a holding call. They won't get it, and Johnson does. He's still on his feet, and he nearly breaks the tackle, and it's Will Johnson. Crossed the 45 to the 46-yard line. How did he get that wide open?
No idea. I think it was just a combination of just moving around, trying to find an open seam, and waiting for Dahl to kind of scramble out of that pocket again. Another tough pass for Simeon Dahl, rolling to his right, throwing as a lefty. And he was able to get to Johnson, and Johnson, great job knowing where the first down marker is, not going down, breaking a tackle, and getting a few extra yards after the first.
Dahl seems as comfortable in the pocket as he does outside the pocket. He's been slinging it everywhere all day long. Here's the give up the middle, and gang tackle by New Canaan. The ball's going to pop out late, recovered by New Canaan, and it is New Canaan's football. Recovered by number 42, Matt Salmini. And now a fumble apiece for both of these teams.
Yeah, the running game has been a little shaky for Darien. That one big run was about it for this Darien offense. And the fumble there culminates a drive that's had penalties for Darien, and just kind of seems like karma almost.
Yeah, the big chunk play from Johnson, and that will completely go in the rearview mirror and be replaced with the fumble. Ty Groff, quick screen, and it's overthrown in the direction of Blake Wilson once again. Incomplete, will set up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, just trying to go to another quick screen pass, trying to find some yards, and just a little bit overthrown.
And we were expecting to see Max Alert play in this game, 87, but I do not see him on the field tonight. Maybe he might be practicing with the varsity team, not sure, but that is a guy who New Canaan definitely wants. There's a flag on the play, and that's something New Canaan does not want, and it's going to go a false start on NC.
I can see it from here. I think it was one of the wide receivers just got a quick head start there and forces New Canaan to move back 5 yards.
This is going to back it up to 2nd and 15, smack dab at the 50-yard line. Rams need to work it up to the 35 to move the chains. Groff still in at quarterback. We haven't seen any of Gio Cassione this evening. Groff over the middle, and it is intercepted by New Canaan, by Darien, in the direction of Ryan Conley.
That's 83, J.D. Brennan on the interception there.
And I'm pretty sure you know him well. Ted Brennan.
You'd expect that.
Your cousin making the big play.
Yeah, J.D. right over the middle, hit him in the hands, and he bobbled it a little bit, so good play by him to get that. And he's not wearing gloves, so his hands are going to be hard as rocks.
Well, J.D. Brennan making the big play. A risky throw over the middle in the direction of Ryan Conley. And Groff throws his first INT of the evening. 8:03 left on the clock here in the second quarter. Still tied at 12-12. This back and forth gets even crazier after both of these teams exchange turnovers.
Yeah, for this cold, I would expect 1 or 2 fumbles, which we've seen. I would have expected a lot more interceptions. We've seen a lot more balls underthrown, but only 1 here so far.
Dahl, pressure comes, eludes it. He's going to run with it, and he takes the hit and holds on. Wrapped up by New Canaan's number 85, Dom Rosso, who's playing both ways tonight, and he wraps him up.
Dahl looking a little like his basketball teammate Miles Drake. He's played in the senior league, and he's played exceptionally well. But Dahl was trying to escape that pocket, trying to find somewhere to go. And it looked like he had somewhere to go, but unfortunately the Rams defense just kind of swarmed him and got him down.
Yeah, he will just not give up on any play. Not a lot to be found there. 2nd and long from their own 37. Dahl under duress. He rolls right, keeps his eyes down the field, and he'll just throw it out of bounds. Takes the big hit from New Canaan's number 67, Oliver Chakarov. And that pressure is able to force the incompletion.
And look, Simeon Dahl was trying to find something. They're so similar to each other, minus the left hand and right hand. But regardless, Dahl was trying to find something, and he unfortunately couldn't. Good pressure there by that Rams D line. And, Dahl, he's always trying to find something. That's something you can't teach. You can't teach heart to never give up on a play. You can teach the mechanics, but you can't teach heart.
But he does give up on that play, and he does do so smartly in avoiding the sack. Here's the screen pass, and not a lot running with it. Very limited gain from Jake Wilson, and that's going to go for a gain of 0 yards, and it will bring up 4th and 10 in the punt unit. So Darien's red-hot offense has been slowed down on these last 2 drives with a fumble and now a punt.
And that's one of the downsides of running a screen play is that either you break it off or you don't. And good job there by the Rams defense recognizing the screen, calling it out, and getting everybody down to that screen play.
New Canaan to Griffin Gettner back to receive the punt. Back at the 35-yard line. And here's the boot. It's a high one. And it will be fair caught, and that is fumbled. No interference is called, and it's picked up by Darien at the 40. Griffin Gettner is still on the ground after the big hit, and there's a lot of confusion because he did put up the hand for the fair catch, and there should be no.
Protect the player. You can't hit him on a fair
Well,
I wonder if one of his own teammates ran into him. You could see the two Darien players try to get in there on the coverage team, and of course you have the New Canaan players covering those downfield players for Darien. I don't know if it hit him in the chest, hit him in the hands.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. There was just a big swarm, and I think it's the right call by the refs because I'm sure that they did not see what happened there. And it's a tough break for the Rams.
Yeah, to say the least. I mean, Gettner did put up the fair catch sign. He did not have a clear chance to field it. He kind of ran right into traffic, and that is a tough call. Well, whatever way you slice it, that one will be remembered for the rest of this game. And New Canaan's going to take over right at the 40-yard line. Darien's going to take over right at New Canaan's 40. Give up the middle to Wilson, cuts it to the right, and finally dragged down by number 92, Brendan Hagan, after a pickup of a few.
Darien gets a second chance at life here after their last couple of drives have stalled out a little bit with the fumble and the punt, but now Darien gets a second chance on this drive. And I am still confused after that.
That's
punt.
crazy. That was insane. It was a 4th down punt. Griffin Gettner put up the fair catch sign. He got drilled, walked off to the sideline. Luckily, he was a little bit banged up after that. A lot of people expected a illegal contact call on Darien. They did not get it, and that's why this drive is still going. 2nd and 10, more like 2nd and 7 after the run from Wilson. Here's Dahl, plenty of time, left sideline, reeled in, breaking a tackle, and staying alive on an excellent catch and rumble is Darien's Leighton Reeser. He has been a big factor early in this game.
We've seen that a lot from Reeser today. We've seen him get out there and haul in those throws there from Dahl, and after the run after catch, breaking tackles, getting a few extra yards, whether that's 1 or 5. He's been so invaluable for this Darien team.
So at the first down, all the way down inside the 25 to the New Canaan 23, Reeser with the grab. So here's it. To the sideline, and a catch not made by Trevor Herget. Almost said Tyler Herget, his brother, who used to be on the Darien varsity team. Herget caught a touchdown earlier in the game. Couldn't corral that tough ball on the sideline.
Yeah, it was going to be a tough catch regardless of whether he got that foot in or not. Good effort there from Herget. This Herget wide receiving core runs deep. There have been a lot of Hergets to come through Darien, and he's just the latest one in the ranks.
It is crazy. The lineage in Darien, it is crazy to see all the kids playing football and all of them doing well. That run for Wilson goes nowhere. Stopped by number 66, Jack Boutine, stopping him dead in his tracks. Forward progress will not give him anything, Now the chain gain moves him back about 4 yards to the 32-yard line. The 27-yard line.
Now,
So a 3rd and long here.
Now, Ian, I don't know if that was a designed run play or maybe an option play where Dahl handed it off instead of taking it himself. But if it was an option play, that was not a good read there. The New Canaan defender, he came right around the edge, and he was right there. And again, Dahl, young quarterback, if it was a design run, that's what happens. But if it was an option play as he unloads.
Dahl, 1v1 opportunity. It's caught for the touchdown. There's a flag on the play, but the ref signals it's a 6-point touchdown. Trevor Herget reeled it in on the 1v1 catch, and the flag is most likely going to go on New Canaan for pass interference, so that doesn't matter.
That was a great play there from Herget. New Canaan's defensive back, his back was turned to Dahl. Dahl saw that as an opportunity to get it to Herget, and Herget went up and over him and hauled it in for his 2nd TD catch of the day.
Herget just turned into Randy Moss for a second, went up 1v1. He had to step on him. Not the perfectly placed ball, but he still was able to come up with the excellent catch. He was open, and then he had to just go superhuman for a second. His 2nd touchdown catch of the game, Dahl's 3rd touchdown throw. Darien's going to go for 2 to make it an 8-point game, and it's Herget again, who holds on even though he gets sandwiched.
Lost him again, and Herget, I'm sure he picked that up from his older brothers who played at Darien. They were both big physical receivers who could jump out of the building.
And so does he. So here it is, a 20-12 game after trailing 12-6. Darien now leads 20-12 with 3:15 left to go in the 2nd quarter in New Canaan, following that Ty Groff interception in that insane call, the controversial call on the muffed punt. Darien capitalizes, and New Canaan and Groff need to get right back in the saddle and make a play here.
Exactly. Groff, he's had a great game so far, minus that 1 interception. He's thrown 2 touchdown passes, and this might be a place to get back to the basics, go back to the running game. We saw it work so well up until that fumble that happened. We saw the New Canaan running backs rip off 3 straight 15-yard runs, and for some reason they just stopped. I don't think we've seen a run from New Canaan in a couple of drives.
Yep, Dom Rosso and Hunter Telesco got this game rolling on the ground, and then Ty Groff found Blake Wilson, and he found Blake Wilson again, and the running game was abandoned. Let's see what they'll do here. The return up the middle is a solid one from New Canaan's Ryan Connolly. Works it up near the 35-yard line. The emotions are high here. Obviously, this game doesn't have too much importance, I guess, on a record book scale, but when it's New Canaan Darien, these are games that you simply will not forget, and both teams are giving us their all here, Ted, and it has definitely lived up to the billing.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of players get a little chippy after the whistle, and that's
Yeah.
going to happen with Darien New Canaan rivalries. Hopefully, no one sportsmanlike conduct penalties. We don't want to see that.
So run up the middle to Dom Rosso goes absolutely nowhere. Stuffed by Darien's number 67, Griffin Steincross.
That might be why they stopped running the ball. Darien probably got on them a lot, as we saw there. And we'll see what happens here.
Second and about 12. Loss of 1 or 2 on the run from Rosso. 2:35 left on the clock here in this first half. Groff going for it all. 1v1, and it is incomplete, I believe. Yes, it is incomplete. Looking in the direction of New Canaan's number 6, who unfortunately not on the roster in front of me. Maybe I can.
It would not be Harry Applett, would it?
It would not be Harry Apelt. He is a varsity safety.
And,
so,
we'll call him number 6.
It's FCFL football. You're going to have some confusion here or there. 1v1 ball. Couldn't make the catch on the ground. And also, I saw there was, and I didn't mention it, my bad, there was a penalty on New Canaan, and that's going to push them back 10 yards. So a bad one at that. Pushes them back all the way inside of 20 to the 18. Actually, I think it was a personal penalty because I think that's 15 yards.
Yeah, definitely. And that was a little bit of an uncharacteristic throw from Goff. He kind of threw that straight up. The ball didn't really have any tilt to it.
So 3rd and forever, Groff slings it incomplete out of bounds in the direction of Cooper Dinan, his first target of the game. And it sails incomplete. So that was actually a replaying of the down. So instead of 3rd and long, it was 2nd and long. So here's our 3rd and forever situation. New Canaan backed up inside the 20, and they need to work it up to just around a 33, 34-yard line for a first down.
And look, New Canaan had the right intention there on that 2nd and forever. They just tried to gain a few yards, make it more manageable than a 3rd and about a country mile.
Yep. Well put. Here it is. Groff on the move. He's keeping it alive with his legs. Will he get there? And he is going to get there. Ty Groff showing the dual threat ability. Actually, I'm way off.
It's a little difficult to see with the chain gang.
The cold's getting to me.
The cold is getting. I think because it was that huge backed up play, it looked like the first marker was that first down marker. Unfortunately for
it was even longer than we thought. I don't know what kind of penalty they got hit with, but it backed them up the country mile.
Definitely. Unfortunately for New Canaan, they were unable to get it to that 2nd marker, which is the first down marker. Don't worry about it. But 4th down here.
So Ty Groff gives it his all on the run, pushed out of bounds, about 10 yards short of the first. He'll go on the punt here. It's very high, and Darien is going to stay away from it. It takes an unlucky bounce and is fielded inside the 45 to 44-yard line by New Canaan.
Definitely. For New Canaan, it was a tough drive with that penalty that backed them up on replaying of 2nd down. And we saw them unable to get anything on their first down run. So Darien will come back here, and they've been pretty hot minus that one drive, and their drive that should have ended in a punt.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it did.
I wouldn't touch a punt anymore if I was either team today.
So I'm seeing on the field now is that there are some Darien senior league players huddling up to keep warm. I believe Teddy Christensen, one of the captains, Charlie Johnson, maybe David Ivanchek as well, coming out to support their fellow sophomores.
Yeah, always great to see the older guys getting a look at the guys they've known for so long, a lot of mentors. There was a flag before the play even started. Most likely a false start on Darien is going to push them back 5. And then they're going to move right back up. So yeah, it's going to push them back 5 to inside the 40. And this is where Dahl will start it up. Draw play up the middle. Wilson's got some room. Stiff arm, ball is loose, and it looks like Darien got on it, and it's 2nd down.
Second fumble here from the Darien running back crew.
Yeah, and Wilson's going to check out right after that one, after the fumble.
I believe that's his 2nd of the night. And again,
Yep.
It is cold out here, so most likely no fault of their own.
Mm-hmm.
It is tough to hold on to this football, but that mistake did not cost Darien too much.
Yep, just, a fumble, but not a fumble lost. Pickup of about 4. Only a minute 14 remain in the second quarter. Darien up 20-12. Dahl's running all over the place. Still keeping the play alive, and he'll just run out of bounds for not a pickup of much, if anything. He might have even lost a yard or 2.
Yeah,
But no turnover.
No turnover.
No fumble, no
No
turnover.
fumble. It definitely looked like he probably got 1, maybe 2 yards, if that. As you mentioned, a little over a minute left here, and this second quarter has definitely felt longer than the first. I don't know if it's just me, but I felt like this quarter has been much more action-packed, and it's extended the quarter much longer.
My brain's freezing, so I can't even remember what happened a quarter ago, but it's been crazy. That's why we have a 20-12 score. Just over a minute left. The Dahl on the move to the left, looking for the downfield shot, and that is to no one. On the move, off balance. Dahl couldn't put an accurate ball out there, and on 4th down, Darien will most likely punt it away with 59 ticks left on the clock in his first half.
Yeah, nobody was there. It was a tough play for Dahl to make, even if he had found a receiver. Mm-hmm. Although he was rolling out to his more comfortable side. He was rolling out to his left, as he is a left-handed QB. But regardless, that was going to be a tough play either way. But unfortunately, he just threw it into no man's land.
Unless Darien's got some kind of pooch kick planned here, looks like they're going to be going for it on 4th down.
That was something you would see in Darien's offense a couple of years ago. Cooper Hancock the QB would pooch punt.
Dahl's just going to take it on the QB power to the left, and he is going to get just enough, it seems, to move those chains and keep this drive alive. Clock is stopped with 49 seconds left in the half, and then it starts rolling again. So it looks like, yeah, New Canaan will use the timeout.
Ian, that was just a great play call from Darien. We haven't seen Dahl use his legs too much besides rolling out of the pocket and allowing him to be mobile as he normally is, as we saw in that QB power run right there. Got him 7-8 yards.
Gutsy, but executed well on the QB power. Actually, no timeout was called. The clock was stopped for the chain gang, and then the ref signaled to just move the downs. And Darien isn't burning anything here. Under half a minute left in the half. Dahl on the move to the right. Still alive. The heave is incomplete. Looking for Will Johnson, and it's broken up by Darien New Canaan's number 47, A.J. Bell.
Yeah, Dahl just looking again. It was going to be another tough throw. I mean, nobody was open on that play. So credit to the New Canaan defense on that Darien play there. Nobody was open. He was going to have to make a forced throw to the sideline, and we saw there just Johnson unable to hang on to it. Even if he had hung on to it, I don't think he would have gotten feet in bounds as he was going out of bounds.
Yep. So 2nd and 10. Darien needs to work it up to the New Canaan 36 to move the chains. I believe they still have 2 timeouts left, but they haven't used the ones they have in the last few minutes. Here's the quick screen to number 81, Liam McBride. It's a pickup of about 5 or 6, short of a chains. And now Darien will finally call its second timeout with 8 seconds left.
Well, look, Darien doesn't need to call a ton of timeouts here because they have the ball coming in the second half, so they don't need to force anything. It would be nice if they went up 2 scores and had a possibility to go 3, but you don't want to force it. You don't want Dahl rolling out of the pocket, all of a sudden throwing an interception that could be returned.
Yeah.
So they're just taking it safe. They're playing it safe, unlike me and Madden, but they're playing it safe.
Well, that's a matchup you and I will have to discuss another time, Ted. But right now we got the real life FCFL football, New Canaan and Darien in the sophomore division game. 20-12, Darien has scored, I believe, 14 unanswered after going down 12-6. Now up 20-12. A lot of high-flying plays from Simeon Dahl, who's thrown 3 touchdowns, 2 of them caught by Trevor Herget. New Canaan's Ty Groff's thrown 2 touchdowns, thrown a pick. And let's see, will they go conservative or will they go for it all here with 8 seconds left at the 37-yard line? It's 3rd and 1.
Ian, I believe it was 6 unanswered or 8 unanswered. I believe it was 6 or 12-6 New Canaan. Darien scores once. Actually, wait a second. That would make it 14 unanswered.
Yes. So
it's cold out here.
It's cold.
Forgive me.
No problem, Ted. It's getting to us all. Dahl just chucks the ball out of bounds, and it's going to be intentional grounding, I believe. Even though he was out of a pocket, there was no receiver in the area. And I actually heard this rule a few weeks ago from Kevin Brown, who's the father of Reed Brown, the starting quarterback for New Canaan's varsity private team, and he told me that it doesn't matter if he's in the pocket or not, but the refs can call it if there really is no intended receiver on the play. And that one, he literally pops it up to thin air, and that is intentional grounding. So now it is 4th and long, backed up all the way back to their own territory at the 49-yard line.
I think that's a little unfair on Dahl. You know, he was looking for Sam Darnold's ghosts out there.
Oh, gosh. Sam Darnold, that's an interesting story for another time. Actually, it's funny, when he said ghosts on the field, Max Alert actually told me this, a New Canaan player. He wasn't actually talking about seeing ghosts or having nightmares. It's actually a kind of coverage. Never knew that, Ted. But regardless, he still got whooped in that game against the Patriots last year.
We're 2 days out from Halloween. I mean, it happened 2 days ago. We're
good
still
point. Very
still
timely, Ted. Yeah.
Some ghosts.
So, 4th and forever. This is going to be the last play of the half. Dahl escapes the rush, keeps his eyes downfield, slings it to Herget. He makes the catch. That will look nice on the stat sheet, but it really won't do anything for Darien. Excellent toe tap grab. That is how we will end this epic back and forth first half of football. Darien up 20-12 over New Canaan in FCFL action, sophomore division. Ian Nicholas with Ted Brennan. This is a presentation of the DAF Media Network, and we will see you very shortly for the start of quarter number 3. Stay tuned.
This broadcast is produced by DAF Media, a joint venture between the Darien Foundation and the Darien Athletic Foundation. The production is staffed by student and adult volunteers from the town of Darien and southwestern Connecticut.
If you live in Darien, most likely you've benefited from the Darien Foundation. Since our founding in 1998, we've provided more than $4 million in grants to the Darien Emergency Services, public schools, and community organizations.
My husband and I are so happy to be raising our 4 young children in Darien. Over the years, I have admired the projects that the Darien Foundation has supported, and I'm excited to be a member of the board helping to further support the Foundation's mission. Kids' eyes light up when they talk about learning and eating in the edible garden at Tokenique School. And as a family, we've had so much fun watching varsity field hockey and lacrosse games under the Darien High School stadium lights. It certainly gives us peace of mind to know that if and when the next storm hits town, the Darien Library will always have power thanks to the Darien Foundation providing a generator.
As a resource, the Darien Foundation is unique within Fairfield County and indeed unique on a national level. For 20 years, the Darien Foundation has been investing in Darien and offering our community organizations, emergency services, and schools a local resource to help them pursue innovation and excellence. Thank you for supporting the Darien Foundation. We are building a better Darien together.
Hello, everybody. Ian Nicholas back here for a freezing half number 2 of JV FCFL football. Ty Groff on the kickoff for New Canaan, and Darien will field it down 20-12. Excuse me, Darien is up 20-12. And they will take over, and they will look to add the lead here. Ian Nicholas joined by and it would not be a surprise if they go right back to Wilson here. Dahl back in the shotgun. Wilson to the right. Man in motion. Dahl looks left. Goes down. 1v1 ball for Herget is intercepted. No, it's caught for the touchdown. Are you kidding me? Tyler Herget in 1v1 coverage completes the hat trick. That's insane. I did not think that was a catch, obviously, as I botched the call. And somehow Herget makes the grab, ripping it away from the New Canaan defender in 1v1 coverage. And you would think by now New Canaan would try to double Herget as much as possible, but the answer is no on that massive touchdown catch of about 40 yards.
Yeah, that was just a great catch. I'm back here.
You're back, Ted.
Not working camera anymore. But no, that was just a great play there from Herget. He has the Trevor Herget, the 3 touchdown catches today. And again, just another beautiful play design, a one-on-one, and they've been exploiting that one-on-one matchup all game long, as there are some flags on the
Darien going for 2, and they're going to get called for, I believe, the false start, which is going to push them back and might change their decision, and they might settle for a PAT. They take the 26-12 lead with 9:23 remaining in this third quarter. And excuse me, I might have called Mr. Herget, Tyler Herget again, his older brother. He is no Tyler, he is Trevor, and he has got 3 touchdowns. Here's a 2-point conversion. Wilson at the outside, reaching for the pylon, and he will scamper in with an excellent effort through contact. And Darien will take the 16-point lead, 28-12, with 9:23 remaining in this third quarter.
It's been a very well-played game from Darien. And if you take away those 3 Herget touchdowns, New Canaan is up.
Yep.
So if New Canaan wants to figure out what they're doing wrong, try to double Herget more often.
Yep, that would be a start. If you are, I believe, defensive play caller Frank Archimone, usually the New Canaan inside linebackers coach, a terrific guy and a gym teacher over at Sachs Middle School. But I believe he is calling the plays for this sophomore team defensively. And the unit that started off hot has cooled off. And now Darien has scored 22 unanswered points, all of them coming from Herget touchdowns, coming off Herget touchdowns. And New Canaan needs to respond in a hurry. Here's the kickoff. A line drive boot. And this will bounce all the way into the end zone for a touchback, which you don't see too often in sophomore football, but there you go.
Now, if you're New Canaan, you don't want to force anything. Yes, you're down, but there's still 9:23 plus another 12 left in this game. You need a touchdown here. This is probably a very crucial drive for New Canaan. You need a touchdown here, and you need a defensive stop. You cannot afford to have another missed opportunity on the defensive side of the ball.
Blake Wilson has been everything for this offense. He scored both of the touchdown passes tossed by Cy Groff. He's been cooled down ever since. The running duo of Hunter Telesco and Dom Rasso has also been cooled down. They're going to give it up the gut here, I believe, to Rasso. And he is stopped for a minimal gain, if any, yardage in a second down.
Look, you're just going to have to keep churning. You're just going to have to keep going through that running game because eventually it's going to break. Maybe throwing a play action here or there. That's something we don't see a lot from sophomore football. But if you throw in a play action here or there, you might get more open space on that passing game because that passing game right now is locked down tight because this Darien defense knows.
Groff puts it up, and there's a flag on the play.
100%.
100%.
There should be a flag on that.
A lot of late contact. It was underthrown from Groff. He was getting hit in the middle of a throw. He pump faked and threw it down the far sideline. And this is definitely going to be pass interference on Darien. And, hey, New Canaan will take any kind of yardage at this point for a cold offense.
Exactly. Look, either way, New Canaan was going to get some yards on that play because Wilson was wide open. Like, he had 2 guys around him, and they were probably a couple feet away. Mm-hmm. And, you know, that's tough for a defender. You know that, you know, he's wide open, so you need to get to him as soon as possible, and you're not looking at the ball. And on a play like that where it was underthrown, you need to look at the ball.
Groff dumps it off to Hunter Telesco in a massive catch and run on the swing pass into Darien territory near the 45-yard line. Wrapped up by Kian Levine at the 46.
Kian Levine.
Kian Levine.
Telesco is a name we have not heard, I believe, since the first quarter after his 3 huge runs.
So a massive play for New Canaan on the catch and run from Hunter Telesco. Groff will dump it right back off to him again here, and a lot of room in the flat once again. Makes a man miss, breaks a tackle, and finally dragged down near the 30-yard line on a 17-yard catch and run.
That was another great screen pass there from this New Canaan team that's needed to find some sort of spark. And why not give it back to Telesco, who's been your spark plug all night. And Telesco, you know, that big body, he's churning out a couple yards. He was dragging a Darien defender 1 or 2 yards who was hanging off of his jersey saying, "Hunter, take me with you. I want to score."
Yeah, Ty Groff has had a tough job today. A lot of downfield throws, a lot of tough balls and 1v1 coverage, and now the Rams are making it a little bit easier for him with these quick swing passes to Telesco. 1st and 10, 7:20 left in the third quarter. Groff on the quick crossing route, and it is caught inside the 25-yard line by number 89 for New Canaan, which is Cooper Dinan, his first catch on the game.
Yeah, and that's one of the Fab 4 wide receivers you mentioned earlier in this game. He's finally getting involved early on in this third quarter. So we'll see if Groff and company uses more than just Telesco and Wilson.
So about a 2nd and 2, 2nd and 3 after the catch from Dinan. Groff going for the end zone. He's got a wide open Hunter Telesco, and he just can't get it.
Look, that was a great streak play out of the backfield, maybe a bit of a wheel route.
Yeah.
But it was a great play there. He ran, Telesco ran straight to the back of the end zone. Groff had him beat, but unfortunately, I believe it was a little underthrown.
It was.
You can see Telesco was backing up, and unfortunately, when you're backing up, you lose your center of gravity, you lose your center of balance, and I think if that was a more perfectly thrown, if that's even the correct grammar, if that was a little better thrown, then I think that would have been a touchdown for New Canaan.
And most certainly would have. Instead, a 3rd and short. Groff under instant duress, and he makes the play. Stepping up in the pocket and scrambling for a New Canaan first down. Yet the chain gang will officially, no, actually he will be short, my bad. He steps up, picks up 4 or 5, and this is a huge 4th down for New Canaan. Groff gives it up to Telesco, and he is stopped right near the line of scrimmage, and a turnover on downs for New Canaan.
And I mentioned this at the beginning of the quarter. They needed to score here to keep this close, as this Darien offense has been red hot, throwing it to Herget 3 times for touchdowns. But I just want to mention that play by Groff there. He felt the pressure coming. He looked dead to rights from that right here. But he was able to find that crease and step up in the pocket. And I would have liked to seen him got that first down, because he put a lot of effort into that, feeling the pressure. But unfortunately for New Canaan, Darien was able to stop them on 4th down, as I believe everyone in the stands knew it was going to Telesco.
Just a shot in the heart to New Canaan, seeing Hunter Telesco unable to capitalize on the opportunity. Not the prettiest of balls from Ty Groff. Had him open in the end zone off the wheel route, but New Canaan still trails 16. Here's a huge run for Wilson. He's past the 2nd level, and Mr. Jake Wilson says goodnight. Touchdown, Darien. A 70 an 81-yard scamper in his first touchdown of the evening. And Darien is flat out pouring on the points now, Ted.
That was an amazing run there from Wilson. You could see it. You could see him find that crease in that first level, and then everybody collapsed on that 2nd level, and he just ran. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. All the levels collapsed, and they just collapsed a little too far, and Wilson, you know, we've seen him have some good runs here, minus his 1 fumble early on. But he makes up for that with that touchdown run. 81 yards, you said?
81 yards, I believe, all the way from the 19 to the end zone. PAT is up and good. So Darien tacks on an extra point and now leads 35-12. They have scored 29 unanswered. 5:33 still have to go in this third quarter. Plenty of time left. We've seen a lot of crazy scoring already, but Darien is just in the driver's seat, and Wilson puts the fumbling issues behind him and breaks it big.
You don't even see 80-yard runs, much less 70-yard runs in senior league divisions. So Wilson was able to find some holes and get an 81-yarder. Incredible. And if you're New Canaan, again, not doing what I said earlier, which is you needed a defensive stop, and they didn't give it to Herget this time, but still, Darien found offense other ways.
And you got to love Wilson went right to the sidelines. He was hyped up, thanked all of his linemen for providing the excellent blocking on the play. A great play call, and the 81-yard touchdown puts Darien up 3 scores.
Got to thank those hog mollies.
Those hog mollies, you got to thank them. Here's the return here, and a bit of room near the far sideline, making it cross the 30-yard line. And this New Canaan offense has just been stone cold. A couple of turnovers, a couple of unfortunate breaks, and again, not in their direction. 5:25 left to go in the third quarter, and Tygroff and crew just need to go on a rampage if they want any chance of coming back in this game.
Much like the weather today, this New Canaan offense started hot and got cold.
Oh, no.
But again, just going back to what I was saying earlier, New Canaan's got to find some sort of spark, whether that's going back to Telesco on those swing passes or going to Wilson on those deep balls. But you got to find some sort of offense. And it was tough last time where they were stopped at the 20-ish yard line on that 4th down, as that one is thrown to the outside. Can't tell who it is from this vantage point.
And neither can I for the moment. We're gonna try to. I believe that was Don Morasso.
That's that spark plug I was talking about. You need some offense, and that's exactly what they're doing as they rush the line.
Yeah, a big play when New Canaan needs it the most. Their odds look slim, but let's see what happens. Rosso makes the bobbling catch out of the backfield. He takes a punishing blow at the end of it. An excellent hit from A.J. Kelly of Darien. He holds on through all the buttery fingers and it makes the catch, though.
Yeah, and there were so many things that happened there. First of all, I believe there might be some sort of roughing the passer because I believe some flag was thrown after the hit there. Second of all, it didn't even look like Rossi was looking at the ball intentionally. I think it hit him right in that little ear hole on his helmet. And he was able to hang on to it. But good for him to, find that ball quickly after it hit him in the helmet, and he was able to hold on to it after that huge hit. So
yes,
a lot of things went on there.
Great heads-up play from Rosso. You're right, there is a penalty tacked on. So a first down, and all of a sudden New Canaan had some life. Groff, 1v1 to the end zone, and it is not corralled. Looking once again in the direction of Blake Wilson. He's looking to do his best Trevor Herget impression and get his 3rd touchdown of the game, but he just couldn't find the ball there.
Look, that was one of the better thrown balls by Groff I think we've seen all night. We've seen uncharacteristic underthrows from Groff, and this was one of the better throws. It was low. It had a nice spiral to it. Unfortunately for Groff, he just threw it behind Wilson, and Wilson, even if he had gotten near the ball, he would have to make an incredible one-handed catch, which would have been amazing to see, but he was just out of reach.
So 2nd and 10. Groff, the quick bubble screen, set up. A couple tackles broken, and out to the 25-yard line for a pickup of a couple. We'll set up a 3rd and about 8.
Sometimes you just need a couple yards to make it a little more manageable. Unfortunately for New Canaan, they weren't able to get the 4 or 5 they were hoping for to make it somewhat manageable. As you mentioned, the 3rd and 8 now.
Catch brought in by Ryan Conley. So here we go. 3rd down. Groff, under pressure, hit as he throws, and it's incomplete. I believe the QB pressure came from Duke Hagan of Darien, and that is a big play from the D lineman.
Yeah, I mean, number 53 for Darien, if that is Duke Hagan, he was the one who got Groff on the arm, I believe, as he was throwing, and it was good pressure there. I think, it's tough when you really only have 1 or 2 options, whether that's QB run or throwing it, where you can't really run it on a 3rd and 8, so everybody knows you're throwing it.
Yeah.
But Darien was able to get good pressure nonetheless.
So with just over 4 minutes left to go in this 3rd quarter, Darien up 23 points, and New Canaan must go for it. Here's Groff to the end zone, putting it up, and incomplete, but there's a flag on the play. Making the catch, or the attempt at the catch, is New Canaan's number 6. We don't have a number on him. it's going to be a push-off. Not sure who it's on. It looks like it is on Darien, though, and this is going to keep the drive alive for New Canaan.
So a gift of some DPI right there.
Yeah.
Some defensive pass interference. And that was well defended. And I couldn't see it from here, but of course the refs have the greatest view of the field. And New Canaan is gifted an opportunity to score.
Yeah, it's Leighton Resor who commits the crime and keeps the drive alive. Here's Dom Rosso on the run, and he is swallowed up and driven into the ground. The ball apparently pops out at the end, but the whistles blow, and it seems like Rosso's down by contact.
Yeah, the ground cannot cause a fumble. We saw
that.
that.
Nope.
We saw that rule change in the NFL and across all of football leagues across America.
Yep.
So the fumble is negated by the ground, and I'm sure New Canaan is lucky to have that happen.
New Canaan catching another break. 3:15 left to go in quarter number 3. Man in motion. Groff looks left, finds a wide open Cooper Dinan in the flat, and he is wrapped up out of bounds. He's going to set up a third and medium.
Just another simple motion swing out to that left side, and that's what's been working for New Canaan. That's what's opening up their deep ball. They've been throwing it to the flats. They've been throwing it out wide, and it's opened up that deep ball. And as we saw on that DPI call, Darien just isn't ready for it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for New Canaan, they're not going to have a ton of deep ball situations right now as they're looking to score.
So third and goal to the end zone, and it is incomplete.
Well defended there by Darien on the goal line.
Looking in the direction of who else but Blake Wilson, and it goes incomplete. So another fourth down. The last one ended in a penalty on Darien, and it led to an extension of a drive for New Canaan. Let's see if New Canaan can get some luck here. They're going to go trips right to the bottom of your screen. 2:28 left on the clock after the incompletion. Groff will give it. No, he'll keep it. And will the pile push him in? Touchdown, New Canaan. Ty Groff scores on the keeper. His third total touchdown of the evening, and a little bit of life for New Canaan.
That was just a beautiful play design there from New Canaan. As you were calling it, we both thought it was a draw play to the running back, but Groff able to tuck it under and run, and we saw that he's got some legs.
Definitely.
As we saw on that touchdown run, and we also saw earlier when he was able to step up in the pocket and try to extend the play. And personally, I wouldn't have called. I thought it was going to be a fade to number 6 or a fade to that left side, but great play call there from New Canaan.
So New Canaan's going to go for 2 to try to make it a 15-point game. Dinan in motion. Groff over the middle, and Dinan is wide open. He gets the 2-point conversion. I bet his father, Terry, is pretty proud of his son right there on the sideline with the chain gain. Wide open over the middle, and that motion with him works to perfection. So with 2:27 left to go in this third quarter, New Canaan scores off the Groff rushing score. Cooper Dinan gets the 2-point conversion. It is a 15-point game.
Yeah, they just kind of flared Dinan out to that left side. They put him in motion, and then it was a simple corner route, just kind of cut, or slant route, excuse me. Simple slant route over the middle. Nothing too special about that, but he was able to get behind the Darien's teeth of the defense and get that 2-point conversion.
So while New Canaan was driving, I did see on the sideline backup quarterback Harry Von Kennel getting warmed up. But now with New Canaan scoring that touchdown, the question becomes, do you insert Von Kennel or do you not risk it and you just keep the red-hot Simeon Dahl in the game?
Personally, if Dahl is ready to go and he's still raring to go, like you just saw that New Canaan scored on what has been otherwise a stifling Darien defense.
Yeah.
And if they're scoring this late in the game, I don't think you want to take any chances of pulling Dahl and maybe throwing an interception late with Von Kennel. Now, I don't know much about Von Kennel. He could be a very good player, but if Dahl is rolling, why ruin the rhythm?
I definitely agree. And in a game where the scoring has been there for both teams. I still think New Canaan's got a good shot in this one. Obviously, 15 points has a lot of the points to erase in just under 14 and a half minutes left in regulation here. But keep your red-hot Simeon Dahl in. He's thrown 3 touchdowns to no interceptions. Here's a return from Darien's number 38, Leighton Resor. And he makes it near the 35-yard line. That's where they will start their next drive.
Leighton Resor, we've seen him on defense, offense, and the special teams unit here. I'm sure that's probably a combination of just being a sophomore team, but he is multi-talented for this Darien team, a real Swiss Army knife.
Oh, most definitely. Even though he did get called for that penalty on that last drive, he's been all over the field. He looks like a pretty intense guy. He's right in front of us. He looks like he's going to be a great player for Darien for years to come.
And I believe is also a baseball player. I hear he's got a pretty mean fastball, and if I have him staring me down I'm at the plate,
I'm bunting.
I'm taking the strikeout.
I'm leaving the park. Leaving the ballpark. All right, we are not on the ballpark, though. We're at Waveney Park's Water Tower Field in FCFL football action on the DAF Media Network. And Dahl is not in quarterback. It is Von Kennel. And on the first play of Von Kennel's first drive, they're going to hand it off to Jake Wilson, who had that insane 81-yard touchdown run right up the gut on Darien's last drive.
I mean, I guess Darien trusts Von Kennel to keep this lead here, and I'm guessing they're just going to try to run out as much clock as possible, even though we are only in the third quarter.
Yeah.
If they can get down the field just running the ball, I'm sure they'll be happy with that. But I still don't see why you don't keep Dahl in. He's been red hot. He's thrown for 4 touchdowns and no interceptions.
Well, an interesting decision. Let's see how it pays off. Man in motion, and the quick little jet sweep will go out to McMullen. And he is met and driven out. Excellent play there from New Canaan, stopping him for a loss or a gain of nada. So third down and about 6. That will push him back 2 or 3 yards. And Von Kennel's probably going to have to go to the air here if they want to get the first.
Exactly. And, you know, I mentioned McMullen earlier. He's a smaller guy who is primarily used in the jet sweeps. And when he's able to turn that corner and find that seam, he is basically unstoppable. He is really, really quick and really, really slippery to tackle. But unfortunately, he's been unable to find any of those seams on turning the corner.
Von Kennel tries to get New Canaan offsides with the hard count. It doesn't work. Darien's just going to go conservative with the run game right up the middle to Wilson, and it doesn't work. Pick up a maybe 1 when they needed 5 or 6, and they're just trying to run out clock. You said it well, Ted, and they will run it out to the end of the third quarter. It was a tie ball game at one point, 12-12. We've seen a lot more scoring since then, mostly from Darien. It's now 35-20 in favor of Darien, heading into the fourth quarter, where the Blue Wave, I guess you could say, Darien will punt it, and New Canaan and Ty Groff will have another chance to try to cut into this lead even more.
Exactly, and we saw on that last drive, New Canaan is still feisty. They're still fighting. They're not rolling over.
No.
And we've seen that here, and I'm seeing more Darien Senior League players try and flood the field here for Darien, give them some life. I believe Matt and Nolan Berg, Joe Sheehan have arrived here to cheer on their team.
Yep.
Big Joe Sheehan giving us a little flex here.
Even though he's only got a T-shirt and shorts on, he must be crazy. It's 38 degrees, and I can feel my toes falling off right now. Speaking of toes, let's punt the football for Darien. Here's the boot. It's a nice high one. And it's going to take a New Canaan bounce and be fielded at the 44-yard line of Ram territory. 11:57 left to go. And that's all the time New Canaan will have in this fourth quarter to try to put up another 15 points or more.
Look, that's just a tough bounce for Darien, and I'm sure the cold definitely does not help. You know, the art of punting is that if you are Darien, you kind of want to get that forward spin on the ball. That time it just kind of lofted in the air. It didn't look like there was any sort of spin, and it unfortunately took a New Canaan bounce for Darien.
So Ty Groff, he's had a great game, 2 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown. Blake Wilson in motion. It's a quick little sweep to him. He's gearing up for the pass. He's hit as he throws, though, and the trick play that had Wilson throwing the ball goes as an incompletion.
That's something you don't see every day, especially in a junior league division. Now, I will say this. In the senior league division for Darien, they were facing the Trumbull Batsons last week, and I saw that play live. I was calling that game.
Yeah.
And it worked beautifully. It was probably one of the better trick plays I've seen, and I wonder if New Canaan was watching the team a little, or watching the Batsons, and they said, hey, let's try it out ourselves. Unfortunately for them, it did not work.
So over the middle of the field, Cooper Dinan makes his first catch of the game. He's had a great second half, had the 2-point conversion on that last touchdown drive, and he makes the catch over the middle of the field, a pickup of 8 and a 3rd and 2. So let's see, can Groff convert here? A big 3rd down. They're going to let him throw it. He gets hit as he throws, and it is corralled. Saving it is Wilson. He nearly gets out of a tackle, too. Dragged down inside of a 40 to the Darien 35. Mr. Blake Wilson's been fantastic.
He has been fantastic. He's got 2 touchdowns here early on, and
yeah,
of course he is Groff's favorite target. Although Dinan has shined in the second half, relatively untouched in that first half, untargeted, I should say. But in this half, he has definitely shown why he is a great second option in this Fab 4.
Both of these guys are stepping up without Max Alert playing in this sophomore game. Here's Groff, the quick screen pass. Hunter Telesco is going to get wrapped up. An excellent open field tackle.
That was just a good play design there. I wonder where the New Canaan line entourage was. There might not have been an entourage for New Canaan. But again, an incredible play design as they basically just let every Darien defender through.
That's a screen pass for you. It's
Well,
hard.
Normally there are like 1 or 2 blocking, but I think almost everybody came through.
Let me tell you, as a former lineman, Ted, it's tough to get out there. Groff steps up into a throw over the middle of the field, and he misfires in the direction of, I believe, Andrew Rittenberry.
That was
number
a dangerous throw.
82.
No, I think that was a bit of a dangerous throw there. He didn't look like he had too much of a step on him. Again, that's from my angle. He might have seen something that we don't.
Yep.
But he threw it too far ahead of him.
Yeah.
Which I guess makes sense if it was a dangerous throw.
Groff has been willing to take his chances. We've seen a lot of good, and we've also seen some throws like that. Here's a huge 3rd down. Groff going for the end zone, and another misfire. Pressure in his face, and he cannot get it to Blake Wilson.
2 Darien defenders were right there.
Yeah, right under it.
And it might have been a little bit of a miscommunication there, saying, I got it, but nobody's saying
Nobody got it.
too loud, or nobody's saying it louder than the other. From our angle, it looked like that should have been a Darien interception.
Groff has been taking a lot of risky throws down the field here, trying to will his team back into this game. 9:57 left to go in this 4th quarter, so definitely time to work with. But here is a 4th down. We saw New Canaan get out of 2 4th downs on that last touchdown drive, but this is a 4th and about 7 or 8. Groff with the shot, looking and incomplete. Cooper Dinan on the underthrown ball couldn't make the play. Cian Levine with the PBU.
Yeah, a good play there by Cian Levine, and I feel like a broken record. We've said that Groff has just underthrown balls a ton in this game. Of course, we've seen the 1 or 2 overthrown when he finally gets his full body into it, but most of what we've seen from him tonight is just underthrown balls that his receivers have been able to get. Unfortunately for Groff this time, Levine was right there to break it up.
And also in Groff's defense, he's had to air the ball out all day long. The run game was there early, but the Rams have abandoned the run game mostly after that first quarter. Really, they're in catch-up mode now, and you could probably say Groff's a little bit tired, slinging it constantly. But definitely avoiding a lot of turnover-worthy plays on that drive. And here's the screen pass to Wilson. He's wrapped up from behind by New Canaan's number 85, Dom Rosso. And clock continues to roll with 9:15 remaining in this fourth quarter. And still in at quarterback is Harry Von Kennel. An injury on the field, unfortunately, for Darien. Clock will be stopped with 9:04 left in this quarter. It's one of the linemen who's down, unfortunately. And believe that is number 84, Bradley Stevens, if I'm seeing that right. And
no, that's Wilson.
No, that is Wilson. Excuse me. 34, not 84. And Darien would want nothing more but to run the clock out, Ted, with Mr. 34 doing the job, but he is going to hobble to the sideline under his own power, and now backup quarterback and a backup running back at the helm for Darien.
For Darien, that is not what you want to see. Your leading rusher today with his 80-yard one touchdown.
Yeah.
Coming into this drive, but that is not something you want to see. Looks like it could be a leg injury, which for a running back is very important.
Yeah, of course. That's how the running usually happens. The trainer working on his right leg, right knee area. Low snap, and Von Kennel goes down. The sack from Dom Rosso capitalizing on the missed snap.
This New Canaan team is showing some life off of the miscue snap there from Darien. Still about 8:30 here, but this New Canaan team showing life.
New Canaan should have all 3 timeouts left, 8:20 and counting left to go. Obviously still down 15 points, a lot of ground to make up. And Darien on his 3rd and long, looking to convert and keep the clock rolling. Here's Harry Von Kennel with the bomb. It's up in traffic, and it's intercepted by New Canaan's number 81, Walker Blair. And he's tripped up at the 20. Just the play New Canaan needed, and it comes on the jump ball opportunity. Walker Blair with the interception.
That's exactly what New Canaan needed. They needed a spark to show that they still had even more life in them, and they did a great job forcing Von Kennel to use his arm instead of his running back. And we saw there Von Kennel just unable to get any arm strength under it, and maybe that's another reason why you don't put in your backup quarterback until you know you have this lead
secured. Yep. So
although
here we
still a 15-point lead. Let's not get too hasty, but New Canaan's right on the doorstep.
So Ty Groff has one more chance at redemption here in the red zone. A quick dart over the middle. A catch and run opportunity. Blake Wilson dancing all around. He's making everybody miss, and Blake Wilson's in! Oh no! Touchdown New Canaan. Blake Wilson is doing it all right now. That's his 3rd touchdown on the game. That's video game-like stuff, Ted.
That is incredible. He flared out to that right side, started on the right side, came back over the left side, went back to the right side again, and then came through to the middle and scored to bring it within 8.
He must have ran 100 yards on that 20-yard catch. Blake Wilson, Mr. Superman this evening. New Canaan's going to go for 2 to try to make it a 13-point game. 7:38 left to go in this fourth quarter. Groff looks right, dumps it off. It's batted away and incomplete. A dangerous throw.
9-point game here.
And that will make it a 2-possession game still. A PAT would have kept it at 8, or would have made it, an 8-point single-possession game with a touchdown and a 2-point. But the comeback looks a little bit less likely now with a 9-point Darien lead.
Don't call it a comeback, as they all say, but if you're Darien here, I would say that you got to go back to Dahl. Dahl had 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Von Kennel already has 1 interception. So if I were Darien, I'd come back and go to Dahl.
Yep. So it will be interesting to see what they do with the quarterback situation. I do see Simeon Dahl on the sideline with the ball on his hip pocket. So he could be ready to go right back out there after the critical interception from Harry Von Kennel, nabbed by New Canaan's Walker Blair, which set up the insane catch and run from Blake Wilson, his third touchdown reception on this cold November evening. On Election Day Eve, I guess. I don't know. I'm just making up stuff at this point.
Election Day Eve. Yeah,
Election Day Eve. That's a new holiday here in New Canaan, if you didn't hear. Ty Groff with the squib kick, onside kick. It's recovered from Darien. An excellent heads-up play. They will take over at the 45-yard line, their own 45. Picked up by, I believe, Austin Enor.
That would have been a huge momentum swing for New Canaan, although they do have all the momentum on their side right now. So we will see if Darien switches it back to Dahl, and we'll see if Wilson can get back into the game. Hopefully he's all recovered from his stretching or his injury, but we will see.
That we will. So the quarterback is going to be Simeon Dahl.
And we got Wilson back.
2 possessions of Harry Von Kennel, 1 interception. And as you did mention, good point, Ted, Jake Wilson back in the game. Looking for it all on his first pass back, and he almost had it in and out of the hands of Isaac McMullen, and that could have been the clincher.
That would have been a dagger, and McMullen was wide open. It hit him in the numbers.
Yeah.
And it's cold out here. I understand that.
Yep.
I mean, we understand it better than anyone. We are sitting on cold, freezing benches. Our legs are probably about to fall off. But if you're Isaac McMullen, you better hope that doesn't come back and haunt you, because that would have been a dagger. He was in the middle of 5 New Canaan defenders, and with his speed, he would have been gone.
Yeah. It looked like a body catch attempt. You got to catch it with the diamond in the hand and just...
I think he was smelling that end zone.
He's smelling the end zone. You got to catch it before you can run. Isaac McMullen with the big drop. It will stop the clock with 7:16 remaining in this fourth quarter. Here's 2nd and 10. They put Johnson in motion, and they're going to run it right into a New Canaan defender. Matt Salmini with the big stop on Wilson. It's going to be a loss of yardage. Wilson will check out for Connor Robertson, and it's a 3rd and long.
Again, that's one of those plays that Darien hasn't been able to do anything on when they're running it like right into the teeth of that New Canaan line. Robertson we've seen him twice. We haven't seen him play very much because he's been stopped behind the line 2 times on the 2 times he's ran the ball. So 3rd and a country mile.
They're in the country mile. They have to work it up all the way to the New Canaan 43 for a first. It's just going to be a screen pass, and it's intercepted by Salmini. 2 huge plays for Salmini. The tackle for loss and the awareness to pick it off on the screen. And the momentum still firmly in the grasp of New Canaan, but still a massive challenge. Just under 6.5 minutes left in this game, Ted, and a 9-point lead. But the plays just keep coming for the Rams that won't quit.
If you're Simeon Dahl, you got to know if you're throwing into what was essentially triple coverage. He had his own man guarded by his own man and 2 Ram defenders right there. You got to know you just got to find another outlet.
Are you kidding me? I'm sorry to cut you off, Ted, but that was insane. The catch made, I don't even know by who. I think that's number 33. I don't have a number 33. Excuse me, that's number 83. Blake Wilson. How can I even?
Who else would it be?
Ryan Conley. I'm just losing it. In and out of the hands of one man, and Ryan Conley makes the catch. 1st and goal.
Ian, you don't ever have to apologize for cutting me off. I do my fair share of cutting off.
To the end zone, and that one is Blake Wilson. Touchdown, New Canaan, his 4th of the game. 5:55 left to go in this 4th quarter. And an absolute rally from the Rams has them down just 3.
He said, Trevor, anything you can do, I can do you one better. Trevor Herget with 3 touchdowns for Darien, and Blake Wilson for New Canaan with 4, and it's a 35-32 game now.
So after not going for the PAT last time and keeping it at a 9-point game, what will New Canaan do here? A 2-point conversion would make it a 1-point game. A PAT would make it a 2-point game. A failed one would make it a 3. Anything that happens, it's still a 1-possession field goal game.
This is
Groff.
an incredible comeback.
And it is intercepted in the end zone, and it's ruled dead. Picked off by Arthur DeVillers. So there's something. But what a chain of events. The near interception that was caught by Ryan Connolly, his first big play of the game. And then Blake Wilson just doing Blake Wilson things, catching his 4th touchdown of the game. It's 35-32. New Canaan has scored 20 unanswered after Darien scored 23 unanswered earlier in the game. It went from 12-12 to 35-32. And Ted, this is a fantastic game, and even though we're freezing, you know, every moment just makes you want more.
It's been a tale of two halves. I don't know how else to characterize it. We saw Darien score 23, as you mentioned, unanswered. They took control of the first half. They were cooking. As for New Canaan, they came out in this second half, and they decided it was their turn to cook. It is a 3-point game, and we will see how Darien responds after 2 straight INTs.
This one a normal kick from Ty Groff. No onside kick attempt. And this one will bounce all the way at the 1-yard line. It halts. And now a return opportunity for Darien goes nowhere. The return from Leighton Reeser, a phenomenal kick from Ty Groff. It halts dead at the 1, and he had to pick it up, and he's gunned down inside the 10.
And that's a tough call for any kick returner to make, any division, any league, any age, where you think that ball has a chance to roll into the end zone or roll out of bounds. Unfortunately for Darien, it just stopped right at the 1. Maybe there was a little pebble that stopped it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Darien is backed up.
5:50 left in this game, and it just gets crazier and crazier. 35-32. Darien in the lead. And another crazy thing going New Canaan's way. Here's Simeon Dahl. He's going to give it up the middle to Wilson. Wilson finds a lane, and he's tracked down by the superhero of this 4th quarter for New Canaan, Matt Salmini, who had the interception off the screen pass that last drive.
And look, if you're Darien, you just want to get it back to Wilson. As much as that might be a little treacherous if he's only getting 1 or 2 yard runs, you're trying not to force it. After the 2 times you've tried to force it, it's been 2 straight interceptions that have led to points. So if you're Darien, you're trying everything you can to get this clock down. 5:20 remaining.
Yep.
To 0-0 with Darien leading.
Pickup of 7 or 8 on the run, but this run from Wilson does not go far. He's going to be shot short. He's going to be stopped short of the first down for no gain, maybe a yard if he's lucky. 3rd and 1 with just over 5 minutes left in this 4th quarter.
I think that was Robertson on the run. I think if you can see down there, Ian.
They are working on the leg of Wilson. Great find there, Ted.
And that's exactly what we've seen all game from Robertson, unable to get anything going his way. And just another example of why having 2 running backs is so crucial. And we've seen New Canaan's 2 running backs early on in this game be so crucial for them.
Game potentially on the line here. 4.5 minutes remaining. 3rd and 1. Dahl, screen pass, caught over the middle. Huge catch and run for Darien. He's still on the move and crossed midfield to the 48-yard line. Darien. It's Isaac McMullen. He knew he had to make up for it after that massive drop on the last drive, or I believe 2 drives ago. And there it is on the screen pass.
Yeah, that last drive, he was unable to haul in that touchdown that would have extended it to that would have been the dagger of this game, or two drives ago, whenever it was. All these drives are blurring together because it is very cold out here. But as I mentioned before, McMullen, if you give him the seam, he will find it, and he will just use his speed and turn on the jets, as we saw there.
3:50 remaining in this 4th quarter. Darien looking to salt away this crazy FCFL JV game. Here's the give. Nowhere to go. Stop for a loss of a yard. That run from Leighton Reeser, I believe his first carry of the game, as Jake Wilson is still being worked on the sidelines. New Canaan's going to call their first of 3 timeouts with 3:33 left to go in this fourth quarter. Darien up 35-32 in this insane back-and-forth game, which might go down as the greatest JV game of all time.
And look, I mean, if you're a Darien and you're not getting much production out of Robertson, I think it's a smart move to try and find somebody else who will carry that ball. And we've seen Leighton Reesar all over the field. He's been the kick returner. He's been defensive back. He's been a wide receiver. So I think it's smart for Darien to try to get somebody else in that backfield that isn't Wilson while he's on the sideline.
Most definitely. So it's 2nd and long, 2nd and 12 at the 50-yard line. 3:33 left on the clock following a New Canaan timeout.
Looks like Wilson's in that backfield again.
Yep, sorry. Hard count doesn't work for Dahl. He's looking left. He sets the feet. He lets it rip. And the bobbling catch is made. An excellent grab from no one else but Trevor Herget.
Why wouldn't it be Trevor Herget? He's been their safety blanket all night long, has not dropped a single pass, while all of these other receivers combined have dropped probably about 4, 5, or 6, each of them dropping 1. Herget has not dropped a single catch all day.
The hat trick man, Trevor Herget, potentially putting the icing on the cake with 3:03 left to go. Run up the middle and stop for a loss. And the ball pops out, but it looks like he's down by contact. Let's see. The whistles blow. He's down by contact, and New Canaan calls their second timeout with 2:52 remaining on the run for a loss.
I don't know anybody else who Darien can turn to when Wilson is on the sideline being looked at. I mean, looking up and down this roster, maybe you just call a design QB run with Dahl, or maybe you get Von Kennel in there to hand it off to Dahl.
Actually, I will cut you off there because I do see Jake Wilson back in the huddle.
That's what I'm saying. When Wilson is on the sideline being looked at, it is tough for Darien to find any sort of running game. And even when he's on the field, he is a big, powerful runner. But he has been stopped a couple of times, not so much in this fourth quarter, but early on he was having a lot of trouble finding holes.
So 2:52 left in this fourth quarter, a crazy back-and-forth game of FCFL JV action between rivals Darien and New Canaan at Waveney Park's Water Tower Field. Ian Nicholas and Ted Brennan on the call here for this DAF Media production. And here is a 3rd down and about 5 or 6. Jake Wilson checks back in at a critical time. He's been hurt on and off again in this game.
Big 3rd down here.
Dahl. Pressure comes. Pass is incomplete. And that stops the clock with 2:45 remaining. Excellent coverage on the boundary by New Canaan's number 5 by Andrew Rittenberry.
Now, Ian, I'd like to see something say something that I saw there. So, I don't know if folks saw it at home, but New Canaan had Dahl dead to rights. If he had hit Dahl, he would have been sacked. Ball might have popped out. But it looked like the New Canaan defender just like slowed up before he hit him. Mm-hmm. And I'm wondering why he did that.
I'm not sure. Actually, that was 2nd down. So here's 3rd down. The jet sweep to McMillan, and it goes nowhere.
Again,
he'll stay in bounds. Clock continues to roll until a New Canaan calls its 3rd and final timeout with 2:36 left in his fourth quarter. I'm not sure why he slowed up, Ted, maybe to try to avoid a roughing the passer. He did get the pressure. It didn't really matter because Dahl threw a great ball, but it was just better coverage from New Canaan. It popped out at the last second.
I'm just wondering because when he slowed down, if he had hit him later like he did, it would be more inclined for roughing the passer, but he gave Dahl that extra. It looked like he gave Dahl that extra second to make the throw because it looked like Dahl was under duress a little bit, but he gave him that extra time to throw the ball. So I'm not really sure. That's confusing. But anyways, New Canaan just called their last timeout, as you mentioned, and that could be incredibly crucial if they get a stop here, as they won't have any time to stop it besides getting out of bounds.
Well, luckily there is a lot of time left on the clock. There is no 2-minute warning in FCFL football, so there's not any unofficial timeout left for New Canaan. This is it. This is the stand. This is not field goal range for either team, so Darien will go for it. If they get it, that most likely is your ball game. If they don't, Ty Groff and New Canaan will have one last chance to cement themselves as the comeback kids. This is another excellent game in the Darien-New Canaan athletic rivalry, and let's see how it finishes. Man in motion. Dahl looks left. Pressure comes. He steps up. He gets away from it, and then he's taken down. An absolutely fantastic play from New Canaan. The coverage on the back end was great, Ted. The pass rush got there, and the turnover on down stops the clock with 2:37 remaining.
That's incredibly tough for Darien. Your kicker is not skilled enough to hit a field goal from this range to extend it to a 6-point lead. And they had to go for it, as we saw there, and Dahl just tried to find anything, something. And unfortunately, nothing was there for Darien. But on the bright side for New Canaan, they have an opportunity here to take the lead.
Here's Ty Groff. Plenty of time. He's going to let it rip. And it's going to be incomplete. Oh, my gosh.
J.D. Brennan almost had his second interception of the game. And he dropped that one. That would have been huge for this Darien team.
Channeling my inner Gus Johnson right now. I can't contain myself, Mr. Ted Brennan. The ball popped up to J.D. Brennan, and that would have been the game. But Ty Groff gets to live to see another day and have another chance to make a comeback. 2:23 left to go in this fourth quarter. Second down. Groff, pressure coming. He's sacked. An excellent play up front from Darien, and it comes from Mac McGarren.
That was just a beautiful pass rush. They forced him out of the pocket. And we saw there, and they were just able to get Groff down. Third down here.
New Canaan needs to work it up to the 34-yard line to a first. They're currently at about their 17, so chalk it up to a 3rd and 17 with 1:46 and counting remaining. Groff steps up, 1v1 shot down the field, and it is incomplete. No flags in the direction of Ryan Connolly.
That was a big play there by Kean Levine. One-on-one, they're picking on him because he's one of the shorter defensive backs. But he's made two huge plays, two huge pass breakups. And we saw another one there. And this could be one of the final plays.
This is the game on the line. 4th and 17. 1:37 remain. New Canaan down 3 in this FCFL JV action. Does Ty Groff have one more big throw left in him? Groff, pressure comes. He stays alive. He's going to run for it. And Groff leaps, and it looks like he has it. Let's see. He has it. Hero ball for number 39.
That was incredible. Darien was so focused on the pass, and on a broken play, Groff scrambles for 17 yards. And he got out of bounds, which New Canaan sorely needed to figure out some play calling issues here. But Darien was so focused on that pass. Honestly, that was probably a great play design, having all of having a trips on that right side, putting all of the Darien defensive backs on that right side, and forcing the Darien to draw to the right when he drew left.
Trips right, first down, 1:27 remain. Groff slings it over the middle to Cooper Dinan, and he makes the catch to the 45-yard line. Clock continues to run with 1:16 and counting remaining. And New Canaan will spike the ball on 3rd down. They'll spike the ball on 2nd down to make it 3rd down. Clock starts with 1:12 and a 3rd and 1 up next.
That's always tough, having to lose it down to spike the ball.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that New Canaan used their timeouts on the defensive side of the ball because they weren't able to stop Darien. Although for them, it is a good situation as it is only a 3rd and 1.
3rd and 1 over the middle. Catch is reeled in by Ryan Connolly. And New Canaan will spike the ball once again. They're right at midfield. The clock stops with 50 seconds left. The ref is going to spot it and give them a few additional yards to the 47-yard line. And after they were going to spike it at first chance, they're going to keep going here. Clock continues to roll. 42 seconds remain. Groff on the move right. He's going to run with it. He has room. He creates it for himself. He's going to hold on to the football, and he's inside the 40, but no timeouts remain for New Canaan, and they are in scramble mode.
That was just another beautiful play there by Groff on a broken play.
The clock is going to stop again, as they are going to get an official measurement. They're going to stop the clock with 19 seconds remaining, and now it's going to keep rolling. It's first down. Groff steps up. He goes for the home run ball, and it is caught. Yes! Are you kidding? It's reeled in, and it stops the clock with 7 seconds.
That is what New Canaan needed, a deep ball down the field. I said it just a couple seconds ago. They needed to go for the end zone. Didn't have the arm strength to get it to the end zone, but a great catch on the sideline is what they needed. They didn't need any more catches over the middle.
Cooper's father, Terry, told me before the game, you throw him the ball, he makes the catch. He made the catch there. Cooper Dinah with the excellent catch. It's 1st and goal. Groff to the end zone, wide open, and he makes the catch. Are you kidding? It's Cooper Dinah, touchdown New Canaan. 2 seconds remain. New Canaan takes the lead, 38-35. Are you kidding?
I have no words for that. Are you kidding is probably the only thing I can say. A one-handed stab in the air, and he reels it in. And with 2 seconds left, Darien's down. This is the 2nd game in a row that this junior team will lose on a last-second touchdown.
Cooper goes over to embrace his father, Terry, on the sidelines, who is working the sideline crew, and that is a moment I think those two will not forget for a long time.
Wow.
A 1v1 catch for the ages, and then he follows it up with an even better juggling catch. It was underthrown, and he makes the catch. They're going to go for 2, and it's in and out of the hand of a Darien defender.
I am speechless here, Ian.
And I am without a voice. I lost it.
This Darien team folded under the pressure, folded under the lights on a Monday night here. And New Canaan has just been incredible in this second half, going to everyone they can. And as to your point, as you mentioned in the beginning of the second half, they're using more people. And we saw there, New Canaan just was able to get a hand on that ball, and a great juggling catch there for New Canaan, which should seal the win, barring any incredible return comebacks here.
Blake Wilson will be the man who people think of with 4 touchdown catches, but it will be Cooper Dinan, who in the second half has turned into a man possessed and catches what looks to be the game-winning touchdown with 2 seconds remaining. But in a game that has been nothing but bonkers, 2 seconds could mean a millennium of time. Let's see what happens. The kickoff will come from Groff, who threw his 3rd touchdown pass and his 4th total.
2020, the year of the unknown.
Yeah.
Could get a crazy return, as we saw in the Rutgers game.
Here we go with the squib kick, and very smart move from Darien's. No, that's the game. They're going to say that took up 2 seconds, and that the clock expired.
Ian, that was an incredible game that we saw. A tale of 2 halves, if you can put it that way. Darien came out really strong, came out hot. Dahl 3 touchdown passes, no interceptions. Second half, a 1-to-1 TD to INT ratio. That's just tough for him with Von Kennel throwing another interception. And
this game's not over. I hate to break it to you folks. The game is not over. It says 0-0-0 on the clock. The kick was fielded by Theo Nadich. And everybody's still on the field. It said it only took 1 second. That's what I originally said. Nadich immediately fell down, and there should have been a second left on the clock, but the scoreboard here at Waveney Park reads 0-0-0. That's why New Canaan players went to celebrate.
Well, now, Ian, last week Darien lost on a Hail Mary pass.
They did?
They lost on a Hail Mary pass.
No.
Let's see if Darien can get some revenge here and win on a Hail Mary, although they're playing deep defense.
Dahl puts it up. It's caught, and that's game. Wrestled down, and that lateral will not count. Refs blow him down by contact.
To end a crazy game.
And now they can celebrate. They were down 35-12. They scored 26 unanswered. And in the greatest JV game in FCFL in Waveney Park history, the car even agrees.
Will the owner of a tan Jeep please come get their car?
Oh, goodness, Ted Brennan. This was the game of the millennium, and if this was a real Turkey Bowl, it probably would be considered the game of the millennium. Your final score is 38-35. New Canaan comes out victorious. Ty Groff with 4 total touchdowns. Blake Wilson with 4 touchdowns. But it was Cooper Dinan with a juggling game-winning touchdown catch on a drive that will not be forgotten for some time. Joined by Ted Brennan, I'm Ian Nicholas, a DAF Media production in New Canaan is your winner. Thank you so much for joining us.